Hello, world, and hello, amazing Philippines. Welcome to our class for today. And this is module one, okay, of your lesson for technology for teaching and learning one. Particularly, we're going to discuss teaching and learning with technology, and it's an introduction. Again, this is teacher A or Sir A saying good day to all of you. Let's have, of course, the world of educational technology. In the old curriculum, we have, of course, the subject educational technology 1 and 2, and it was actually replaced by the TTL or technology for teaching and learning, which also have 1 and 2. Let's first define, okay, education and, of course, technology. In the word education, we have, of course, the following words associated with it. You can see here teaching. We have also instruction. We have training, tutelage, and tutorials. So if you're going to have teaching and training, of course, it is an action. By having such kind of or such words, we have, of course, this definition. It is the act or process of imparting knowledge. And by having, of course, scholarship, literacy, learnedness, knowledge, and erudition, we have another definition of the word education, which is the understanding and information gained from being educated. So here, this is now the product of course, so what we have done, okay, in the process of imparting knowledge. So if we're going to trace, of course, the hierarchy of data, we start, of course, from data like, for example, A or B or C. These are, of course, letters, but other than letters, it has no meaning. Another is, of course, 1, 2, 3. So these are numbers, and probably there is no meaning for that other than, of course, being a number. So it's the data. Next is, of course, the information. Okay, when we say information, it's the process data. We have, of course, knowledge, and of course, the last is wisdom. So again, education can be the act or process of imparting knowledge, and the other one is the understanding and information gained from being educated. Let's discuss the word technology. So when we say, of course, technology, it involves the following words. We have, of course, machinery, the device, the tools, the apparatus that we're using, of course, the kit and the equipment. So having, of course, these, no, it means when we say technology, it is a machinery and equipment developed from the application of scientific knowledge. And um, when we say, of course, technology, it requires us to have skills, our expertise, no, our knowledge, and of course, training on how to use or manipulate this technology. So by having these kinds of words, we have, of course, the definition as the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes. So by having, of course, this definition, okay, when we say, of course, educational technology, and we have, of course, the two words which we can associate with the education, okay, which comes from a Latin word, educatio or educatio, which means a breeding, a bringing up, and a rearing. I like actually these three words because it signifies probably something that we can have. Like, for example, you breed, no, there is breeding, and of course, bringing up. When we bring up or bringing, there is, of course, something in the students that we wanted to have. Okay, probably we would like, of course, the students to show. Okay, or if we're going to talk about, of course, the skills, there is already no, the skills and the talents with our learners or students. We need also to, we need, what we need is, of course, to bring this. And of course, rearing. When I say rearing, of course, we need to take good care. And the other word is, of course, technology, which comes from the Greek word. That's the word, by the way. Okay, which means techni, which, okay, Greek word techni, which means craft or an art. So that's it. Okay, by having that, we have, of course, this uh, notion and, of course, definition of educational technology from the National Council for for Educational Technology, or the NCET UK. And it says educational technology is a development, application, and evaluation of systems, techniques, and aids to improve the process of human learning. So we have, of course, very good words here that we need to remember, or the key terms that we can probably have. We have, of course, the development, the application, and the evaluation. So we do not just develop, we apply also. And of course, we need to evaluate these techniques and aids, no? And the purpose of these is to improve, of course, the process of human learning. Another one is, of course, the definition of Association for Educational Communications and Technology, or the AECT, in 1977. And this organization, of course, defined educational technology as a complex, no, integrated process involving, of course, people, procedures, ideas, devices, and organizations for analyzing, okay, problems, and devising the organization for analyzing problems. Other than analyzing, we need to devise, implement, evaluate, and of course, we need to manage solutions, okay, for the problems that we have. And of course, it involves in all aspects of human learning. So by having, of course, this definition, educational technology is very powerful. Okay, so that's it. That's with, of course, the meaning of our educational technology. Okay, let's discuss the next lesson. And of course, that is lesson 1 of our topic. Okay, so the title of this lesson is about ICT competency standards for Philippine pre-service teacher education. Okay, let's first, of course, have our lesson outcomes for this particular topic. We have, of course, identified the competency standards of ICT for teaching and learning in the pre-service teacher education, and then familiarize with, of course, the ISTE, National Educational Technology Standards for Teachers. Okay, and we have, of course, valued the use of ICT in the teaching and learning. So in the course of course, discussion of this lesson, we probably could find the word ISTE, which means International Society for Technology in Education. So if there is one thing that, of course, changed the world so fast, it is technology. And while there exists technology in the past as non-digital technology, okay, the current digital technology has been a factor that shrunk the world and made it flat. It has, of course, provided a new environment for learning, okay, new ways teachers teach, and also the new ways of how learners learn. So in the beginning, it has created a divide between the digital natives and the digital immigrants. However, as the years go by, such a divide has become narrower and even blurred. So this has led to the new educational revolution in teaching and learning which has been triggered by technology and resulted to better learning outcomes in the 21st century. So in the screen, you can see probably pictures, and we are going to compare the two pictures now. The pictures at the top and the other one is in the bottom. So, okay, the question is, who is better equipped to handle the 21st century learners? Okay, of course, probably you would say, many of you would say, it's with, of course, the bottom picture or at the lower portion. Okay, so what are, of course, the company standards and what are the city standards for teaching and learning in the Philippine pre-service teacher education? So in, of course, the ICT company standards given by, of course, the CHED UNESCO, okay, as provided in the 2017 policy standards and guidelines, okay, or the PSG for pre-service teacher education. So the program outcomes for teacher education degrees clearly state that every future teacher demonstrate efficient proficiency in the development and utilization of information communication and technology or the ICT resources in promoting quality teaching learning process. To ensure, of course, that the program outcomes related to ICT shall be, of course, achieved, competencies were identified to be developed by every pre-service teacher. Okay, that's according to the to CHED UNESCO Bangkok. Okay, 2009. So the ICT company standards, okay, is made up of course, 7 domains. Each domain has, of course, a set of competencies, and the competencies are expressed in desired learning outcomes. Becoming, of course, proficient in the different competencies will enable you to handle, of course, learners of the 21st century in your future classroom. So these, of course, domains and corresponding competencies are found in the following, of course, table. So here you can see, of course, domain one, which is understanding ICT in policies. So the first is, of course, demonstrate awareness of policies, okay, affecting, of course, ICT in education. So this is, of course, the competency. The second is, of course, comply with ICT policies as they affect teaching learning environment. And of course, the third one is contextualize ICT policies to the learning environment. So what are the most important words here? Okay, the first is demonstrate awareness. The second is we need to comply. And the third is we need to have contextualization of these ICT policies. Okay, and of course, the domain two, which talks about, of course, curriculum and assessment. So we have, of course, the following competencies. Number one is demonstrate understanding of concepts, principles, and theories of ICT systems as they, of course, apply to teaching and learning. The second one is, of course, evaluate digital and non-digital learning resources in response to students' diverse needs, and of course, develop digital learning resources, okay, to enhance teaching learning. The last, of course, is the use of course, ICT tools to develop 21st century skills. So what are these 21st century skills? We have, of course, the information, media, and technology skills. We have, of course, the learning skills, the learning and innovation skills. We need to become innovative, career skills, and of course, effective communication skills. So these skills are very important for all of you or for all of us. Okay, we'll become, of course, teachers someday. Okay, we have, of course, domain three. So in the domain three, it talks about, of course, pedagogy and pedagogy, teaching skills. It can be, of course, styles, no? The methods of teaching. So the following are competencies here. We have, of course, number one, apply relevant technology tools for classroom activities. The second is, of course, we need to use ICT knowledge to solve complex problems and, of course, support students' collaborative activities. And, of course, model collaborative knowledge construction in face-to-face and virtual environment. So we can, of course, we cannot deny the fact that the virtual environment is, of course, present, although we go back already with, of course, the face-to-face setup. But however, still, the virtual environment is very useful for that matter. Okay, we have number 4 is technology tools. Domain 4 rather is technology tools. It talks about the following competencies, such as demonstrate competence rather in the technical operations of technology tools and systems as they apply to teaching and learning. Then use technology tools to create new learning opportunities to support community of learners and demonstrate proficiency in the use of technology tools to support teaching and learning. So that's it. Then we have, of course, number 5, which talks about organization and administration. So here, of course, we have the following competencies such as manage technology-assisted instruction in an inclusive classroom environment and of course, exhibit leadership in shared decision-making using technology tools. Okay, domain 6, of course, talks about the teacher professional learning. So here, of course, the following are the competencies. The first is explore existing and emerging technology to acquire additional content and pedagogical knowledge. And of course, number 2 is utilize technology tools in creating communities of practice and collaborate with, of course, peers, no? Colleagues and stakeholders to access information in support of professional learning. So there should be, of course, collaboration, utilization, and exploration, okay, of technology. Okay, in domain 7, it talks about, of course, the teacher, okay, disposition wherein we need to demonstrate no, social, ethical, and legal responsibility, okay, in the use of technology tools and, of course, resources. And the second one is, of course, show positive attitude towards the use of technology tools. I like this one, no? It talks about, of course, being positive in life, no? Being positive with technology and so on. So likewise, of course, by having these, no? The Department of Education, okay, issued Department of Education Order 42 series of 2017, mandating the use of Philippine professional standards for teachers, or the PPST, to start with the beginning teachers who are, of course, the fresh graduate from, of course, the teacher education program. So the document includes, okay, the statement, show skills, no? They need to show skills in the selection, development, and the use of the variety of teaching, learning, no? Okay, resources, including ICT to address learning goals. So that's it. So these competency standards to learn and master will ensure the 21st century learners in your class, okay, to become, of course, more enjoyable, creative, innovative, no? Ways in teaching and, of course, in learning. So that's it with, of course, the DepEd Order 42 series of 2017. Let's have this ISTE National Educational Technology Standards for Teachers, or the NETS-T. Okay, so as what we have now earlier, when we say ISTE, it means, of course, International Society for Technology in Education. So this is actually an international organization for educational technology called International Society for Teacher in Education. And these establish, of course, standards for both teachers, okay, and students. And these standards were also referred in the development of the Philippine ICT, okay, competitive standards, okay, which of course includes the following. So we have, of course, standard 1 that talks about technology operations and concepts. So this, of course, means that teachers demonstrate a sound understanding of technology operations and concept. Standard 2 is, of course, planning and designing learning environment and experiences. So this standard implies that teachers utilize the use of technology to plan and, of course, design effective learning environments and experiences. Standard 3 talks about, of course, teaching, learning, and curriculum. Okay, here, of course, teachers should be mindful that in the implementation of curriculum plan, okay, they have to include strategies for applying technology to maximize, of course, student learning. Okay, in standard 4, which talks about assessment and evaluation, here, of course, teachers apply technology to facilitate a variety of effective assessment and evaluation strategies to collect and analyze data, even of course, interpret results and communicate findings to improve instructional practice and maximize student learning. So that's what, of course, standard 4. Let's have, of course, standard 5 that talks about productivity and professional practice. So here, teachers use technology to engage in ongoing professional development and, of course, lifelong learning in support of student learning, increase productivity, and, of course, to build community of learners. And of course, lastly, standard 6, which is social, ethical, legal, and of course, human issues. Okay, here, of course, teachers, they understand the social, ethical, legal, and human issues surrounding the use of technology in support of student learning who come from, of course, diverse background. We need to affirm diversity, promote safe and healthy use of technology, okay, resources, and facilitate, of course, access to technology resources for all, okay, our students. Likewise, ISTE, of course, also develops standards needs for students. So these standards will be used as a guide, of course, for teachers to plan technology-based activities in which students achieve success in learning, okay, communication, and life skills for that matter. We have also the ISTE National Educational Technology Standards for students. If we have, of course, for teachers, we have, of course, for students. So you can see here, standard 1 is creativity and innovation. So this standard will produce students who demonstrate creative thinking. We then construct knowledge, develop innovative products, and of course, process using technology from existing knowledge. So they become, of course, creative and innovative for that matter. Standard 2 is communication and collaboration. Okay, here, of course, in this standard, this requires students to use digital media and, of course, environments to communicate and work collaboratively, okay, to support individual learning and contribute to the learning of others. So these includes, of course, the use of, or these includes the use of variety of media and formats for global awareness with learners from other cultures. The third is, of course, standard. The third standard, rather, is research and information fluency. Okay, here the students are expected to apply digital tools, okay, to gather, evaluate, and use information and plan strategies for inquiry. So this standard expects the student to locate, organize, analyze, evaluate, synthesize, and ethically use information, okay, from a variety of sources and media. Then standard number 4 is critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making. So here, of course, these standards expects the students to use critical thinking, okay, to plan and conduct research, manage projects, solve problems, and make informed decisions, of course, using appropriate digital tools. Okay, and our standard 5, or the fifth standard, is digital citizenship. So it is required, of course, that this standard, okay, that every technology student becomes a digital citizen who, of course, demonstrate ethical and legal behavior exemplified by the practice of safe, legal and responsible use of information. Further, the students, of course, exhibits a positive attitude towards the support of technology for collaboration, learning, and productivity as digital citizen. Again, for collaboration, learning, and productivity of a digital citizen. Number 6 is technology operations and concepts. Here, of course, there should be sound understanding of technology concepts, systems, and operation. Okay, is a very standard for that students, of course, should comply with. So there should be, of course, compliance to these. So they too are expected to further transfer current knowledge to learning of new technologies. So as pre-service teacher education students, now probably as pre-service teacher education students now, like you will have, of course, to master the knowledge and skills, which is the learning to know for the standards for students. However, since you will become, of course, teachers in the future, you should harness, of course, the same knowledge and skills to become, and that is learning to become future teachers. Okay. So this is, of course, a matrix or a table, of course, summarizing what we have for ISTE standards for teachers and, of course, students. Again, for our standards for teachers, we have technology operations and concepts, number one. Number two is planning and designing learning environment and experiences. The third is teaching, learning, and of course, curriculum. The fourth is assessment and evaluation. Five is productivity and professional practice. And of course, number six is social, ethical, legal, and of course, human issues. Okay, for the IST standards for students, we have, of course, creativity and innovation, communication and collaboration. Okay, number three rather is research and information fluency. Then number four, critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making. And number five is digital citizenship. And lastly, of course, you have technology operations and concepts. And so this is, of course, the end of our lesson for today. Okay, it's nice, of course, to be with you again. Thank you. Okay, and God bless everybody. For our references, you can see it here. Okay, thank you for listening. Terima kasih. Madamo nga salamat. Till next time. Again, this is Sir A. Okay, and always reminding you to be, of course, be flexible, of course, be adaptive with, of course, the technology, and just be positive in life. Okay, thank you so much again. Okay, kindly heart this video, share, and have your comments if you learn something. Thank you so much. God bless. Bye-bye.